The emotional lines are about to blur in a big way. What makes Jeremiah's presence so impactful here is that he's not just competing for Belly's heart. He's also competing for his own sense of belonging. The Fisher brothers' relationship has always been complicated, but in episode 7, that bond could face its hardest test yet. If Jeremiah decides to step back for the sake of peace, it could open the door for Belly and Conrad. But if he chooses to fight for her, the fallout might be too big for any of them to recover from easily. And judging by the trailer's tone, whatever happens won't just affect who ends up together. It could alter the dynamics of every relationship in the series moving forward. Asterisk, while the trailer makes Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah the emotional core, it also slips in glimpses of the side storylines that give the summer eye turn pretty its layered, lived-in feel. One quick flash shows Steven and Taylor at the boardwalk, laughter breaking between them as if they've carved out a little escape from all the drama swirling around the main triangle. But there's a flicker of something deeper here, a lingering glance that suggests their playful energy might be shifting into more emotional territory. Fans who've been rooting for them will instantly pick up on the change in tone, and episode 7 might be the moment where their friendship edges towards something more. Laurel also makes a brief but striking appearance in the trailer, her expression calm yet protective, the way only a mother who's seen every side of a messy love story can be. There's a moment where she's shown talking to Belly on the porch, her hand resting gently on her daughter's shoulder. It's a blink and a miss it scene, but the framing and lighting make it feel significant, almost like Laurel is preparing Belly for a hard choice she knows is coming. In a series where parental advice often goes unheard until it's too late, this could be a grounding moment before the emotional storm. Then there's the subtle nod to Susanna's presence, even in absence. The trailer shows a shot of the beach house at golden hour, waves rolling in with that bittersweet hum. It's the kind of imagery that's always been tied to her memory, and it feels like episode 7 will carry a quiet thread of her influence through the choices the characters make. Whether it's through a keepsake, a recalled conversation, or just the way the family gathers, her legacy still shapes the way everyone interacts, especially the Fisher brothers. And while these moments might seem small compared to the central romance, they're essential in grounding the episode. Side storylines like Steven and Taylor's evolving connection, Laurel's gentle guidance, and the ongoing echo of Susanna's impact remind us that this summer is about more than just one relationship. They're the details that make Cousins Beach feel real, the emotional texture that turns a love triangle into a full breathing world. When episode 7 drops, these threads could end up surprising us, intertwining with the main drama in ways we didn't see coming and making the emotional stakes even higher. Asterisk, the emotional tone of the episode 7 trailer feels like standing at the edge of summer, warm and beautiful, but with the undeniable ache of knowing change is coming. From the very first frame, there's a bittersweet weight in the air. The lighting is golden, the music is soft, and yet there's a tension under it all.
8.
As if the season's carefree days are slipping away faster than anyone is ready to admit. The trailer doesn't lean into loud drama. Instead, it builds on quiet moments that feel heavy with meaning. A look, a pause, a breath that lingers too long. It's the kind of storytelling that doesn't need to spell out the stakes because the audience can feel them in their bones. One of the strongest themes pulsing through the trailer is the idea of second chances. For Belly and Conrad, this is about more than rekindling a romance. It's about deciding if love can survive the storms it's already weathered. The way the camera frames them, often in tighter, more intimate shots, gives the sense that the world is closing in, forcing them to confront what's still between them. In contrast, the moments with Jeremiah feel open, full of light, almost like an invitation to choose a simpler path. The visual language is subtle, but it's powerful, the choice between something safe and something that sets your heart on fire. Another theme is growth through heartbreak. Every character in this series has been touched by loss in some way, whether it's love, family, or the innocence of past summers. The trailer weaves this into the fabric of episode 7 with tiny, careful details, Laurel's watchful gaze, Steven's protective instinct toward Belly, and the unspoken grief that still hovers around the Fisher family. Even when the story zeroes in on romance, it's impossible to separate it from the way these characters have been shaped by what they've endured. The most poignant layer, though, is the sense of inevitability. The trailer feels like a deep breath before a confession, before a decision that can't be taken back. Whether it's the soft echo of a piano note under Belly's voice, or the way the camera lingers just a fraction longer on Conrad's face. Everything about this preview says that episode 7 will be a turning point. The emotional tone doesn't. Just prepare the audience for what might happen. It makes them feel like they're standing right there, watching the tide come in, knowing something big is about to change. Asterisk episode 7 feels like the moment where all the threads this season has been weaving finally start to pull tight, and the trailer practically dares us to guess how it will all unravel. The most obvious prediction, and the one fans will cling to, is that Belly and Conrad will finally have a breakthrough conversation. Not just the half-finished talks and sidelong glances we've seen before, but a moment where they strip away the walls they've both been hiding behind. The way the trailer frames them on the porch at night, leaning just slightly toward each other, suggests something intimate is about to be said. Whether it's an apology, a confession, or a promise, it's likely to change the entire dynamic going forward. But if this show has taught us anything, it's that no big moment comes without a cost. Jeremiah's role in episode 7 could be the emotional twist that stops any easy resolution. There's a strong chance we'll see him make a choice, either stepping back to let Belly and Conrad figure things out, or stepping forward to stake his claim. The fact that the trailer shows him watching from a distance, then later in what looks like a tense exchange with Belly, makes it clear he won't be a passive bystander. If he does speak his mind, it could push Belly into a decision she isn't ready to make, creating a cliffhanger that leaves viewers debating until episode 8. The side characters might also play bigger roles in shifting the story than we expect. Laurel's quiet moment with Belly could serve as the emotional nudge that forces her to confront what she truly wants, even if it means breaking someone's heart. Stephen and Taylor's evolving bond could act as a counterbalance to the heaviness of the main triangle, showing that love in its lighter, newer form still has a place in the story. And with subtle nods to Susanna's memory threaded through the trailer, episode 7 might lean into the idea that love is as much about honoring the past as it is about building the future. If I had to guess, episode 7 won't tie everything up neatly. It's not in this show's nature. Instead, it will deliver a rush of emotional highs and lows, ending with a single image or line that sends fans into a frenzy of theories. Maybe it's Belly caught between the two brothers again. Maybe it's a promise from Conrad that he won't let her go this time. Or maybe it's Jeremiah walking away, leaving the door open for a love story years in the making. Whatever the case, episode 7 is set up to be the emotional pivot point of the season. The episode that redefines what back together really means. What if episode 7 is the moment everything changes? The trailer for the summer, I Turned Pretty season. 3 hints at something fans have been waiting for since the very beginning. Belly and Conrad finding their way back to each other. It's not just a quick glance or a friendly chat. This is the kind of emotional pull that feels impossible to ignore. The way they look at each other in those brief moments says more than words ever could, as if the weight of the past seasons is pressing in on both of them. But the trailer also leaves us with a burning question. Is this the start of a reunion, or just another heartbreaking reminder of what they can't have? The first thing you notice in the trailer is how much has changed since the last time we saw them truly connect.
Ow.
There's a quiet tension in the air, the kind that only exists between two people who have loved deeply and lost each other. Conrad's eyes linger just a little too long. Belly's voice softens when she speaks to him, and in the background, the sound design shifts to something warm and nostalgic, the kind of music you'd expect in a memory you can't let go of. These aren't random choices. Every shot feels deliberate, designed to make us feel the weight of their history. We see flashes of past summers, the ocean waves crashing just as they did in those early days, and for a moment, it's almost as if we're back in season 1, before everything got so complicated. But this isn't the same Belly or the same Conrad. They've grown, they've been hurt, and they've made mistakes, and now, Every interaction carries years of unspoken words. It's also impossible to ignore how carefully the trailer balances hope and uncertainty. It's just when it feels like they might finally be ready to take that step toward each other, the camera cuts away. We're left staring at Belly's expression, caught somewhere between longing and fear. While Conrad's unreadable look gives nothing away, the editing makes it clear that episode 7 will be about more than just romance. It's about decisions that could change the entire direction of the summer. Fans know that in this series, no moment is simple. Every conversation, every touch, every choice has a ripple effect. And this trailer is proof that those ripples are about to crash into something much bigger. If this is where the season starts to tip toward resolution, episode 7 could be the emotional turning point. The kind of episode where the smallest gesture, a shared glance, a quiet laugh, or a single sentence can mean everything. And maybe, just maybe, this is where Belly and Conrad finally stop running from what's been between them all along. But knowing this show, it won't come without challenges. Those challenges might be exactly what keeps fans glued to the screen. This is more than a love story. It's a test of whether two people can find their way back after everything has fallen apart. And from the looks of this trailer, we're about to find out. Asterisk up until now. Season 3 has been a roller coaster of emotions, and every episode has been pulling Belly in a different direction. From the very first scene of the season, we've seen her caught between the comfort of the past and the uncertainty of the future. The moments with Jeremiah have been tender and full of possibility, but they've also been shadowed by the history she shares with Conrad. Episodes 1 through 6 have slowly layered these emotions, showing us how deeply tangled the relationships have become. We've watched Belly try to heal from the heartbreaks of previous summers, only to find herself right back in the center of the same love triangle, only now. The stakes feel higher than ever. The events leading up to episode 7 have been about more than romance. They've been about identity and trust. Belly's bond with Jeremiah seemed to grow stronger as they leaned on each other in moments of vulnerability. But Conrad's presence has been impossible to ignore. Even when he isn't in the room, his influence is felt in the way Belly hesitates, in the way her smile sometimes falters. Conrad has had his own struggles this season, facing the weight of family expectations, grief, and unspoken feelings that seem to follow him everywhere. These parallel journeys have given every interaction between the three of them a sharper edge. By episode 6, the tension has built to a point where something has to give. We've seen heated conversations, moments of misunderstanding, and flashes of raw honesty that cut through the easy summer vibe the series is known for. Jeremiah's role has shifted from being simply the sweet, supportive one to someone who might finally voice his frustrations. And that change could have a major impact on what's coming next. Belly, for her part, has started to question not just who she wants to be with, but who she wants to be, period. The trailer for episode 7 drops us right into that emotional crossroad. Everything this season has been building toward seems to be pointing to a defining moment where feelings can no longer be hidden. The heartbreak from past seasons still lingers, but there's also an undeniable sense of hope. Makes the upcoming episode so compelling. It's not just about who Belly chooses. It's about whether these characters can finally face the truth, no matter how messy it is. Episode 7 is shaping up to be the point where the summer's simmering tensions finally boil over, and fans are bracing themselves for whatever comes next. Asterisk. The trailer wastes no time in dropping hints that something deeper is stirring between Belly and Conrad. It's not just in the dialogue, in fact. Most of the romantic tension is built through everything that isn't said. A lingering glance on the beach, the way Conrad's hand almost brushes against Belly's as they walk, side by side, the slight pause before he responds to her. These are the quiet, loaded moments that the show has always excelled at. In episode 7's preview, they're everywhere. The background score in these scenes is soft and nostalgic, almost echoing the soundtracks from season 1, as if reminding us where their story began. That musical callback alone is enough to make longtime fans sit up and take notice. What makes these romantic clues so powerful is how layered they are. On the surface, Belly and Conrad could simply be sharing a friendly moment, but the camera lingers just long enough to suggest there's more. The lighting is warmer when they're together. the frame tighter, pulling the audience in and creating an intimate atmosphere. There's a shot where Belly glances over at Conrad, and for a split second, her expression mirrors the girl she used to be. Hopeful, curious, and completely caught up in the possibility of what could happen. Conrad, meanwhile, wears that guarded expression he's famous for. But his body language betrays him, leaning slightly toward her eyes, softening, as if he's battling with something he wants to say but can't yet bring himself to voice. Then there's the subtle mirroring. In one quick montage clip, Belly and Conrad are shown in two different settings, but their movements are almost identical, both looking out toward the water, both lost in thought. This editing choice feels intentional, as if to say that no matter how far apart they've drifted, they're still connected on some unspoken level. It's the kind of detail you could miss on a casual watch. But for fans who know their history, it's impossible not to feel the pull. Perhaps the boldest romantic clue comes in a brief nighttime scene. Belly is standing on the porch, wrapped in a sweater, and Conrad steps into the frame, his voice low as he says something we can't quite hear. The trailer cuts away before we get the words. But the look in Belly's eyes is clear: surprise, warmth, and just the tiniest flicker of hope. It's the kind of moment that could be a turning point, and the fact that the trailer teases it without giving it away makes it even more irresistible. Episode 7 might not give us the full reunion fans are craving, but from these clues, it's clear we're heading toward a shift, one that could either bring them back together or set the stage for an even bigger heartbreak. Asterisk. If Belly and Conrad's moments in the trailer are like sparks quietly catching fire, Jeremiah's presence is the sudden gust of wind that could either fan those flames or blow them out completely. The trailer doesn't shy away from showing how much Jeremiah still matters to Belly, and not just as a friend. There's a scene where he looks at her with a kind of unguarded vulnerability, the kind you can only have when you truly care. For someone, it's not possessive, it's not desperate. It's the look of someone who's trying to hold on without pulling too hard. But in the context of Belly's renewed closeness with Conrad, it lands like a silent plea. Jeremiah's role in Season 3 has evolved far beyond the light-hearted, easygoing boy we first met. In the earlier episodes this season, he's been the steady one, the one who shows up without question. But Episode 7's trailer suggests a shift. There's a quick shot of him watching from a distance as Belly and Conrad talk, his expression unreadable, a mix of hurt, awareness, and maybe even quiet resignation. It's not the loud, dramatic jealousy you might expect. Instead, it's a softer, more dangerous kind of tension. It's a kind that simmers under the surface until it becomes unavoidable. The most telling moment in the trailer is a short exchange between Jeremiah and Belly. We can't hear all the words, but we see her eyes widen slightly, as if something he said catches her off guard. He's calm, maybe even gentle, but there's weight behind what he's telling her. It could be a confession, a question, or even a warning, and whatever it is, it's going to push the love triangle into uncharted territory. The fact that the trailer pairs this with a sudden cut to Conrad walking away suggests